War Room, Gwinnett County, the people's voice, keeping you informed. War Room, Gwinnett County, the people's voice.
News exclusive. A large number of murder trials are ending in not guilty verdicts in Gwinnett County. And that's upsetting a lot of people. In Gwinnett County last year, the DA got murder convictions 57% of the time. For some perspective, at least 87% of murder cases ended in conviction in DeKalb, Fulton, and Cobb counties. Channel 2 Gwinnett County Bureau Chief Matt Johnson has been looking into this for weeks. And Matt, there's a concern about how the cases have been prosecuted.
I started looking into this when people involved in some of these murder cases, including family members of some of the victims, were raising concerns with how many murder acquittals were happening right here in court. The Gwinnett County DA's office says it's not a failing what's happening here. She says that jurors here are more skeptical of police and prosecutors.
It was the most devastating day of our life.
The murder of Derek and Josh Dennis in Norcross in 2019 was painful enough for their family. Then last year, a jury found the defendant, Carlton Sermons, not guilty for their murder after police found him with the murder weapon.
I don't get it. That was my brother and that was my nephew. I wanted justice served.
This relative doesn't want to be identified, but says she raised concerns with how the case was prosecuted by an assistant DA.
So she came in and didn't know anything for a case that happens in a couple of months.
In Gwinnett County, murder suspects are more likely to be acquitted than in any other large neighboring county in metro Atlanta. That's according to last year's data I uncovered that shows 8 people were acquitted for murder in Gwinnett County in 21 murder trials. The DA's office secured 12 convictions for a conviction rate of 57%. In DeKalb, Fulton, and Cobb counties last year, between 87 and 100% of murder cases ended in a conviction.
Because we don't just try the easy cases, the slam dunk cases.
I sat down with Gwinnett County DA Pasty Gatson, who says her team meets with jurors after every case.
I think they're looking at things like that, different podcasts that claim people are innocent when they're sitting in jail and have been previously convicted. So they're probably weighing those types of things, and we are mindful of that, and we try to do what we can to make sure that all of the evidence is getting in front of them.
In 2019, pre-COVID, records showed that the county's DA's office prosecuted 9 murder cases, ending with 3 acquittals. Voters elected Gatson in 2020 based on a campaign promising reforms that she says she is delivering.
We had 18 young people that had their first brush with the law that are now having a second chance.
After she took office, some of the more experienced prosecutors who stayed are helping to train new staff.
We have a young, fairly new staff, as well, a lot of new attorneys, and we're going through that training process with them.
Experience always counts.
Defense attorney Lawrence Lewis secured the murder acquittal for Carlton Sermons last year and for another client in 2022. He believes the Sermons case came down to an eyewitness.
I don't think the jury ultimately believed that witness.
He's worked in Gwinnett County for 22 years and says his experience as a trial attorney has made him more persuasive for juries.
I think that the people that were let go when the new administration came in had a lot more jury trial experience than a lot of the folks that were hired.
For families still waiting for justice, they don't have answers, only pain that hasn't healed.
It feels like we have a system that fails us.
Now, the DA says she's investing in more forensic equipment that'll help get better pictures at crime scenes because she says jurors are demanding more. She also says she didn't run on convictions. She says she ran to, quote, bring justice, equity, and fairness to the situation. Live in Gwinnett County, Matt Johnson, Channel 2 Action News.
Thank you for tuning in to War Room, Gwinnett County. I am your host, Antonio Jones. Today, I think it's important that we take a look at the DA here in Gwinnett County. This was on our list of things to do this year in 2023, so couldn't be a better time. And shout out to Matt Johnson for the report here. Let's take a look at, some of the platform that Miss Patsy Austin ran on, because I don't think that some of us know, some of the parallels that are there between some of the things that she's saying, some of the stuff that we keep hearing in the school board, that we also hear all the way up to, some places in the federal government and all the way over to the World Economic Forum. So let's take a look at read some of the platform that Miss Patsy Austin ran on and see if we can draw some parallels here to what may be going on here in Gwinnett County. So this is on a website, I guess, that endorsed her. It's called Voting While Black. It say, we endorse Patsy Austin Gadsden. So let's take a look at this write up on here. So it says, for 28 years, current district attorney Danny Porter has opposed common sense, effective reforms to the criminal justice system. Instead, he has fueled mass incarceration and resisted bail reform, routinely seeking the death penalty and sentencing children to adult prisons. Gwinnett County deserves a DA who will improve public safety without criminalizing poor people and our children. Pasty Austin, a Democrat, has over 30 years of experience as an attorney, most recently working in Gwinnett County's solicitor's office. She understands and is running to address issues our communities are facing day in and day out. So these are a list of 4 things that I guess she vowed to do while, once she was elected. Disrupt the school to prison pipeline by providing support services for vulnerable students. That word disrupt is a word that BLM used, but whatever. Advocate for people that commit first-time nonviolent offenses to be given a second chance and released pre-trial. Establish a dedicated unit to review and overturn wrongful convictions. Expand accountability courts and provide rehabilitative services. So I guess the accountability courts, I'm gonna assume that court is aimed at police and public servants that are trying to enforce the law. So she's basically saying what she's about. But if you notice in the interview, when she was asked, what's going on with these failed prosecutions, that she blamed it on the jurors. They've been watching too many podcasts, and the lady who's the guys that were murdered that was on earlier in the interview on the news broadcast, she was saying that the assistant DA came in and she didn't know anything much about the case, and the case was like 2 months out, and she went in there and basically failed him. So let's take a look at what's going on out here in Los Angeles, because I want you guys to draw a parallel. I've been doing a lot of posts about making sure that we pay attention to national politics, because national politics is now local. They're all linked. So let's look at this mission statement right here from the Los Angeles County DA. Let's see if you hear anything that sounds familiar to you. Okay, this is their mission statement. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office will advance an effective, ethical, and racially equitable system of justice that protects the community, restores victims of crime, and honors the right of the accused. We are a learning organization that believes in a reduced incarceration and punishment, except in circumstances in which it is proportional in the community's interests and serves as a rehabilitative and restorative purpose. So what we're seeing happen, all this stuff is linked. That this is my 2 cents. It's all linked. If you look at the mission statement from George Gascon's office, which is the DA out in Los Angeles, nobody wants to go out and live in Los Angeles that I know, based on the crime just going through the roof. But these are the same practices that we are hearing being implemented right up here in Gwinnett County. And Ms. Austin basically said what the platform was that she was running on. Is it a coincidence that the school board the groups that they're letting have say in the school board and how they're crafting their policies, that they're all saying the same thing. You know, all of this is interlinked. This is all Marxist ideologies that are being spread in this restorative practice and all of this. In this statement that Patsy gave, the 4 things that she was going to do: disrupt the school to prison pipeline, advocate for people that commit their first crime. This all signals to criminals that you're going to be soft on crime. I mean, look at the prosecution success rate in Gwinnett. You got DeKalb, Cobb, and all these other surrounding counties that is like double their success in prosecution. I said this once, and I say it again. In order for Georgia, and she's a Democrat, you know, this shouldn't be a political issue, but unfortunately, politics has played every part of our society. Everything is political, unfortunately. But she's doing what she said she was going to do. And this is the same thing that's going on in California. And this same ideology and practice is the same thing that's plaguing our schools. You know, and I would even say probably the sheriff's office here as well. All of these things work together. You got your school boards, you got your sheriff's office, your police, and you got your district attorney. Those are the 4 main things that help undergird having a healthy society and a community. And these practices, I want to say they aren't working, but they are working, because look at the things that they have sought out to do. You know, we got restorative circle or something in the schools. A kid gets assaulted by another kid, and they have to sit around in this circle and try to amend some type of relationship. Why? You can't force relationships between people. But I mean, that's another subject. But crime is on the rise here in Gwinnett County. It is. And it's because of practices like what's coming out of our district attorney's office. You know, this is the platform that she ran on, and these are the things that she believes in. And you know, I believe we need to be looking for a replacement, you know, in this whatever next cycle that we have coming up. But that's my opinion. What's your opinion on the job that Miss Patsy is doing? Is she doing a good job in your view? Do you believe in her platform? There may be some people that are watching that may believe in that. To, you know, restorative justice. What else? Have accountability courts and focus more on rehab services. You know, what's the crime skyrocketing through the roof before Miss Patsy got in here? Or did it start to unravel more as she started to get the things that she wanted to do policy-wise implemented, or her practices coming into place? We see it in the numbers. I mean, we got, 40-something% conviction rate? That's pretty bad. But that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Share the War Room page with somebody.
War Room, Gwinnett County, the people's voice, keeping you informed. War Room, Gwinnett County, the people's voice.